Hello there, and a very good Wednesday afternoon to you. Welcome to Wednesday. Yeah, it's September the 3rd, 2025, halfway through the week. Hang in the race. It is the Daily Crack with me, Sean G, on Global Irish Radio, coming at you live from just outside Castlebar, County Mayo. Thank you to Malcolm Fisher for the past couple of hours of great music. And we are with you for the hour. Hopefully you can stick around. It's quite a nice day in County Mayo, I can tell you. In between the showers, at least, there are nice sunny spells today. And the temperature's a balmy 15 to 16 degrees Celsius. So it's a nice day, and the showers are less squally and less frequent. We hope you're well this Wednesday, friends. Weren't with you yesterday, but it's great to be back with you live. And with you for the hour, bringing you up to speed on all that you missed yesterday and all that's happening in Mother Ireland. The latest top trending serious news stories, the chitter chatter of the nation. There's music as well. If there's something you want to hear, by all means, well, let us know. studio@gir.ie. And this summer, the warmest on the island of Ireland since records began in 1900. Yes, friends, they've crunched the numbers, they've uploaded their files, they've downloaded their reports, and they're telling us it was a warm summer. And it was a nice summer. We know that. We've been here. We had a couple of kind of heat warnings and almost reached the definition of a heat wave on a couple of occasions as well. 5 days at 25 degrees or more consecutively, although I don't think we actually met the definition of a heat wave. By Irish standards, it was a nice summer. And the average summer temperature, by the way, 16.19 degrees Celsius, which is 0.08 higher than the previous hottest summer on record, which was 1995. Spring, you might be interested to know, was also the warmest spring on record. And we are on course. We're on course to beat 2023 as the hottest year on record. So it looks like 2025 will go down in the history books as a hot one. So now, how's about that? We've noticed the weather is getting nicer and we're seeing more of the sun. Once again, friends, welcome along. We hope you're well this Wednesday. The dust hasn't even settled on Electric Picnic 2025. The grounds have barely cleared out. Sure, they haven't even emptied the toilets yet. And the Electric Picnic organisers have said that they're blown away after tickets for next year's event have sold out within minutes. Can you believe it? The weekend that was, and it was not a nice weekend. Weather-wise, it was a brutal weekend, let's face it. It was wintry, it was wet, it was blustery, it was cold. There was a lot of rain showers. It was a muddy mess. But it didn't deter fans from wanting to return to Stradbally and County Laois for next year, because tickets to the popular County Laois Festival went on sale at 9 a.m. this morning via a loyalty scheme and the general sale, and they were snapped up quickly. Very, very quickly. Within a matter of minutes, the whole thing sold out, gone, bang, boom, boom, done. So people obviously had a good time, and we've seen lots of, I suppose, coverage on our social media feeds. There was a bit of footage on TV, on the news as well. And of course, TG Cahir were covering some of the events live. So obviously the weather didn't deter people from wanting to go back. They don't even know who's going to be on the schedule in terms of entertainment acts or anything like that, but they have got such a strong record of delivering when it comes to good entertainment, good bands. This year they had 6 stages with over 60 bands, and there was much more than a music fest. There was all kinds of attractions there. It's a big sprawling site, I should say, about 600 acres there in Stradbally, and they've been doing it for 21 years now, and they're looking forward to year 22. And as you say, the tickets already gone, done, dusted. And the Electric Picnic folks took to Twitter, or X, to say, wow, we're blown away. Just like that, Electric Picnic 2026 is completely sold out. If you manage to secure a golden ticket, we'll see you in Stradbally next year. We can't wait to do it all over again. So put the wellies away, dust them off and all of that, and they're looking forward to seeing you already next year. So that's good, isn't it? Nice. That's a good news story starting out our Wednesday programme here on Global Irish Radio. Elsewhere on the television, Traders continues. The Irish version of Traders. It's a huge hit already. People, it's the talk of the country and the talk at the water fountain, wherever you bump into people. Still trying to convert Margaret, slowly but surely. But lots of people are talking about this new television hit show. It's all based on lies and deceit and that kind of thing, if you know. It's reality TV basically based on human behaviour, where lies and deceit thrive and where they are essentially rewarded. People conspiring against one another, and it's pure human psychology, isn't it? And that's probably why we love it. And looking at the people, and the headline on the Star on Monday said it all. Really, edge of deceit stuff, DECEIT, because everybody's trying to fool one another, and they're trying to portray themselves as faithfuls when they might be traitors. And the goal of the whole thing is to find out who the traitors are and stop them from taking out faithfuls. You'll know what I mean if you've been watching it. But a lot of people have been watching it, and a lot of people are talking about it. And it's on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday night. Now we're going to have withdrawal symptoms for the rest of the week, because it's not on again until Sunday night again. But it's I imagine it's doing well in the ratings. And as we say, it's all about human behaviour and human psychology, and where lies and deception are rewarded, essentially. So bad behaviour being rewarded. And it's kind of ironic that one of the traitors is a guard, and the other one is a former prison officer. So they're the ones that they picked. Nobody knows who the traitors are, and the quest of the whole thing is to win money, obviously, and be the last man standing, and to take out the traitors before the traitors take out all of the faithfuls. Otherwise, the traitors get all the money. And it reminds me of a show, and I only seen this earlier this week. I was going through the RT website, and they oftentimes have archive footage of TV shows from way back in the day. And one that was highlighted this weekend was a show called The Biggest Liar in Ireland. And it was a little show that shone a spotlight on a little town in Wexford, Blackwater in County Wexford, where they were having a competition in the local pub to find the biggest liar in Ireland. It's wonderful stuff. It's very innocent stuff. And as I say, it aired on our tellies in this country back in 1975. Not all of you were around back then. But as we say, it was locals going up against one another, and them telling barefaced lies, telling these yarns, spinning these yarns, and people had to decipher if they were real or not real. Some mad, wild stories. So it's, I suppose it's traitors at a very, at a much more innocent level. But the boy was coming in, and the lies they were telling about all kinds of things as they were looking to seek and looking to find Ireland's biggest liar. As I say, it's a little series. It was a pub in Blackwater in County Wexford, and the year was 1975, and they were opening up the contest to other parts of the country, inviting liars to come and participate in the competition. As you say, they had judges and everything to find the biggest liar in Ireland. So that reminded me kind of that, because it was again something predicated on deception and lies, much like the traitors. But anyway, the show is doing well, and lots of people are talking about it. It's on the radio, it's on our social media feeds. My goodness, it's everywhere we look. Oh, look at the sun is coming out now here in County Mayo. The clouds giving way to some blue skies. I tell you, it's a nice day here in the west of Ireland. After what's been a miserable week, we've had awful weather. But of course, the electric picnic is over. Of course, the clouds have gone and moved off to the east. But it was a nasty old weekend, and we had a lot of wet weather. The ground is very, very wet at the minute, so it's nice to see the sun outshining, and hopefully we'll get a bit of nice weather for a few days now. And speaking of traitors, the sponsors undertook some research into human behaviour involving the female of the species, if you know what I mean. And what they're telling us is that most women would lie to save someone's feelings. That's what a new survey, as you say, by the sponsors of the Traitors Ireland has found. And in the spirit of the show, the online retailer wanted to dig into just how loyal Irish women really are, and they commissioned this research to find out. And the findings, you might find them interesting. Let's put it that way. They found that 1 in 10 would tell a best friend's secret. 1 in 10 would tell a best friend's secret. I'm not sure if they were telling the truth in this survey. I know people that when you tell them things and you say don't tell anybody, the first thing they do is they run off and tell anybody. In fact, if you want to spread a story or a secret, you go to that one of these individuals that is of this mindset, and you tell them your secret, and it's guaranteed to be spread all over the place like wildfire. But anyway, according to this research, it found that only 1 in 10 would tell a best friend's secret, but 84% of women would lie to protect someone from being hurt. So, yeah, about 1 in 9. Well, 84%. Sorry, not 1 in 9. 9 out of 10, nearly. 8.5 would lie to protect someone being hurt, which is kind of noble, I suppose, in some regards. Other findings included that 48% of people, women that is, are loyal enough to wait and watch their favourite TV shows with a partner or a friend. Some people regard it as cheating if you're in a relationship and you're watching a series together, and if for one reason or another one of the partners can't watch it, if the other partner goes ahead and watch it, it is frowned upon, and it's almost up there with cheating in some regards. Or if you're watching a box set and you go an episode ahead of your partner, because she might have to go to bed early or something like that. It's frowned upon. But according to, as I say, the study, 48% of women are loyal enough to wait and watch their favourite shows with a partner or a friend. And when it comes to shopping, now this might interest you. When it comes to shopping, some interesting revelations here. Let's see, 93% are happy to let a friend know where they got the must-have piece of clothing or whatever it is they bought. So they don't mind telling people where they got their bargains or where they got their look. 13%, on the other hand, like to guard their shopping spots. But the rest, they don't mind sharing where they found the bargain, and they don't mind if their friend goes out. A further 43% don't mind if their friend buys the same outfit, but only depending on the event. But Irish women trust their own style. 63% back themselves as their own top stylist, while 19% prefer to let their friend play fashion guru for them. And on social media, only 9% admitted that they'd post a photo where they look great, but their friend doesn't. So in other words, women are fairly sensitive, Irish women, and they're fairly thoughtful and they're fairly loyal when it comes to most of the questions asked in that survey by the sponsors of Traitors. And I think it's nice that, if they look good and their friend doesn't look good, only 9% of those women would post that picture on Facebook. That's a thoughtful little gesture. And so there you go, some of the insights. As I say, the show is all about human behaviour, psychology, that kind of stuff. And the folks that are the sponsors behind the show thought it might be fun to do some digging into getting some insight into human the most complex species of them all, the female, and particularly the Irish female. So there you go. Interesting revelations for you this Wednesday. We're live, friends, here at Global Irish Radio. We are the Irish Diaspora Station. We bring Irish radio programs not just from Ireland to the west of Ireland here. This is the Daily Crack. If you miss it live, you can catch it anytime at globalir.com, or I should say dailycrack.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. So there you go. How's about that? We'll have it up later on today, and there's another chance to catch it live tonight, or a replay later on tonight. We sat down last night with the Irish Ranter, the Gurrier, John, and the latest episode of the Irish Ranter has dropped. We talked about a lot of things on there, and you can check it out at theirishranter.com, or again wherever you get your podcasts. And it'll be airing on Global Irish Radio, I think, on Thursday night. Is it Thursday night? You can check the schedule there at gir.ie. But we talk about a lot of things, including the failure of successive US governments to enact meaningful immigration reform and the impact on the Irish. Also, Trump's proposals to send in the National Guard to Chicago. Trump, or the Gurrier, the Ranter, weighs in on all of that. And other things like that. Some of the things that came up for discussion in the latest. And we talk a little bit about the Irish presidential election as well, which, by the way, coming up later today, we'll have the latest on the Irish presidential race and the latest name linked to the Irish presidency. Some juicy gossip to share with you. We also have the date. They have now announced the date for the election. We know when it's going to be. So stay tuned. We'll delve into that a little bit later on in the programme. But I have to say, some good and interesting stuff to share with you as the race heats up. It's starting to get interesting, friends. Yes, it is. So stick around for that. Let's take a look at what's on our papers today, the front pages, and we look at today's Irish Daily Star to start with. And it's a rather interesting story that's on the front page of the Star, at least. Father Ted co-creator Graham Linehan hit out yesterday after he was arrested by armed cops over joke tweets about trans people. Now, this is a fascinating story. The creator of Father Ted, we all know the comedy series Father Ted about the two priests. The comedy writer told that he was taken to a police station near Heathrow Airport just days before his upcoming trial for alleged criminal damage and harassment without violence, it should be said, offences against a trans woman. And he said he had to be treated by a nurse and then in hospital for stress while in custody. So that's the Father Ted co-creator Graham Linehan arrested as he landed at Heathrow Airport for tweets. What happened to free speech? We've been mourning the loss of free speech now for quite some time. And I was just saying, actually on the Irish Ranter yesterday, one of the great things that there was a sense of pride involving the Electric Picnic, at least for me, looking and seeing some of the artists like Hosier and Kneecap, whoever it was or whoever it is, that came out over the weekend, and they used the electric picnic as a platform to kind of condemn the injustices that's currently going on in the world, and particularly the genocide that's happening over in the Middle East and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And I was just saying that it's nice that free speech is still a thing in this country of ours, and artists like that and people like that can come and draw attention to it without getting into hot water or any kind of bother. So you would lament the days of free speech in places like the UK and America. And Graham Linehan, not sure what it's all about, but getting into trouble for his tweets, and it's just part of the mad world that we live in these days. As I was saying on the rant yesterday, you can get into trouble and arrested in the UK now for wearing a T-shirt that supports a certain Palestinian organisation. But that's the world we live in, friends. So there you go. When is free speech okay and when is it not? You would have to wonder. But anyway, and coming to his rescue, by the way, is J.K. Rowling, who is an anti-trans person as well. No mention of Enoch Burke. He's too busy hanging outside a school in Westmeath or wherever it is, taking his selfies with all the students. But there you go. That's a story that's getting a lot of attention both on the radio and the telly and in the Irish papers today. The story of Father Ted creator Graham Lennon arrested as he landed at Heathrow Airport for tweets. That's what it is. Now, what else have we got for you? Donald Trump. Oh yes, the Donald. We always like to go to America and find out what's happening over there, because there's never a dull moment. Unless, of course, there's no side of the Donald, which there wasn't over the weekend. And, the internet was going mad all weekend. But it turns out, no, sorry to disappoint you, he's alive, he's okay, he's well. He just took a few days off, and sure, why wouldn't he? It was Labor Day weekend, it was a long weekend, and he was advised at the press conference yesterday of the rumours about his demise, and he was kind of taken aback that there was these rumours out there that he had died over the weekend, and they were, if you were around or if you were following things online, there was a bit of a frenzy on Saturday morning. Rumours went out that the Donald had died, and they were talking about his health woes and stuff like that. And he hasn't been in the best of health. He looks a bit shook. Let's put it that way. He does look a little bit shook these days. But he was taken aback at the fact that word had got out, or there was rumours that he might have died and stuff like that. And they asked him, "Are you dead there, Donald?" "No, I'm alive and well." And the fake news, he says, is putting out that those stories of his of his bad health and stuff like that. And he has some kind of a medical condition, something going on with his veins. He's got those black those patches on his hands and stuff like that, and his ankles are swollen up. But he doesn't have the healthiest of lifestyles, let's face it. And as Marion McKeown was saying on Today FM yesterday on the Matt Cooper show, the only exercise he really gets is cheating at golf and tweeting on Truth Social, and the index fingers gets a lot of exercise, but apart from that he doesn't get a whole lot of exercise, and he eats buckets and buckets of KFC and Diet Coke, so he doesn't have the healthiest diet either. But as Oliver was saying, his predecessor Mayo Joe wasn't exactly the picture of health either. I mean, Mayo Joe was like a deer in the headlights for most of the, let's just say the last 2 years or the last year of his presidency, and he wasn't exactly, as you say, the picture of health. So the Donald definitely looks a little bit healthier than Mayo Joe did in the closing months of his last term. But that's the latest. The Donald is alive and well. He's kicking. He's not too happy today because, speaking of dictators and all of that, a bunch of them are gathered somewhere near China or Taiwan, not China, in China land. Let's put it, as the neighbour calls it, China land. And all Putin is there, and the Chinese president there, and there's a huge display of military might. And Donald not happy that he wasn't invited. We know he's not happy because he took to Truth Social to express his thoughts on that one. But there you go. And of course there was this announcement that was much touted yesterday. People thought that the rumour machine, and anytime there's a vacuum, you have rumours and you have speculation, and people get carried away with themselves. We've seen it here with the Irish presidential election when nobody was saying nothing. Things start to get a little bit stupid. But in the absence of the Donald over the past few days, because as the Donald pointed out, he takes 1 or 2 days off and everybody's getting their knickers in a twist, and Mayo Joe would disappear for months and not do a press or television event and get into no trouble. But I suppose when you're doing it all the time and then you stop doing it, it creates that little bit of a vacuum, doesn't it? But so he was scheduled to make this big announcement yesterday, and people thought he's going to make an announcement about his health or that he's stepping down, and of course not. He came out to tell us that the US Space Command will be moving following major speculation, as we say, that the announcement was going to be about his health. It was about the Space Command unit, and it's going to be moving. And where is it going to be moving? I think it's going to be moving to Arizona or someplace like that. The US President confirmed the new Space Command HQ would go to Huntsville, Alabama. Oh, that's where it is, Alabama. Following a political back and forth over the issue over several years, Trump said the decision could create up to 30,000 jobs in that region. So there you go. And he said the US has been losing the so-called space race to the likes of China and Vladimir Putin's Russia. So there you go. That was the Donald weighing in, and he seemed a little bit taken aback at the rumours of his untimely demise and stuff like that. And he said he took to social media as well to say that he never felt better in his life. And he's looking... Well, he is looking a little bit shook, but yeah, as I say, he's still got a better colour. Even if it's a fake tan, he's still got a better colour than his predecessor, Mayor Joe, did at that time in his term. But that's the latest from the US of A. America the beautiful. The Trump is alive and well. And that's one thing we talked about, actually. We were talking about that yesterday on the Ranter as well, about the fact that the Donald is sending in the troops to Chicago, or might be, and the fact that the governor there and the mayor is resisting that. But if you talk to ordinary folk, and the Ranter considers himself to be one of the ordinary folk in Chicago, there's broad welcome, I think, because this past weekend, which was Labor Day weekend, there was a lot of shooting, a lot of killings and stuff like that, and it's quite a regular thing. And you know, I've seen a lot of neighbourhoods in Chicago, and I've seen what goes on, and there's a crime problem. And the mayor comes out, and the governor comes out saying there's not a crime problem, and there's no issues. But they have a security detail wherever they go. Try going through some of these streets and some of the areas that, like Michigan Avenue, areas that were once safe to walk down the street, no longer in that city. So there's no doubt there's and I was saying on the podcast, if the Donald's motivations are to make the streets safer and to reduce crime and save lives and all that kind of thing, I'm all for it. If it's something more sinister, to try a power grab, or trying to normalise the militarisation of cities, well, then that's a different thing. So that's for people to decide, I suppose. But I think, and talking to the Ranter, there seems to be broad welcome from a lot of people in the city, business owners and the like, welcoming the idea of the National Guard coming in and helping out get that the situation, the crime situation, and it's the murder capital of the world, as the Donald was said yesterday. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But that's the latest, I would say, from the great United States of America. Studio at GIR.ie. We're with you for the hour, and stay with us if you can. We have still lots to come. The latest on the Irish presidential election, lots more chitter-chatter, and the top trending series news stories of the day. Music as well. Studio at GIR.ie. And coming up after this programme, by the way, today, just to let you know, at 4 o'clock, Oliver will be bringing you the latest from down under in Auckland, New Zealand. So stay tuned for that in case we forget to mention. And Nevin Maguire, everybody's favourite chef here in Ireland, is back on our TV screens tonight. And he, of course, was at the Theatre of Food at the Electric Picnic last week. He was playing trance music and cooking. That's how talented Nevin Maguire is. Always like the Irish cookery shows, and particularly Nevin's is a good show. And he knows his food. But his latest series graces our screens tonight, and it's called, I love the name of it, North and Mouth. Now, North and Mouth. And there's a picture of Nevin with one of his dishes on the papers today. TV chef Nevin Maguire is proud to showcase cuisine from the north of Ireland in his latest food show. The Cavan man, who is from the border town of Blackhallion, is that what it's called? Yes, it is. And he's passionate about dishes from the province, and was delighted to learn that he's going to be heading up there to 6 counties to check out some of the cuisine up there. So He's making his way around the 6 counties, and this is his latest cookery show, his latest television endeavour, North and South, and he meets some of the people who are putting Ulster's food culture on the map, and different places and different chefs, different establishments, that kind of thing. You get the idea. Nevin Maguire on tour in the 6 counties, highlighting the great food from Northern Ireland, from his Ulster food trails. So that's something you might want to check out if you're having the traitor withdrawal symptoms tonight. You want to watch something good on the television. Friends, we're live as always. I'm going to start out with some music, get things rolling here on the programme today, and it's the latest one from Daniel O'Donnell, who just recently announced or sold out his final, his Irish tour, which she says is going to be his goodbye tour, that kind of thing. The first one of them anyway. Here he is with that, The Girl on Bedsit Avenue. Daniel O'Donnell getting us up and running musically on the programme this Wednesday. You're listening to the Irish Daily Crack with Sean G.
There's a boy who lives on the second floor. His world is a small bedroom. Ain't modern or chic, he just pays by the week, hoping to get out soon. There's a girl who lives right across the street, and he don't know her name, but he sees her go by from his window sometimes, but she never looks his way. So he writes her a letter every night. P.S. I love you. From the boy in the room to the girl on Bedsit Avenue. There's a new girl down from a northern town, and it feels like a world away. In a city so strange, you're just nobody's friend, and nobody knows your name. She sees him look down from his window sometimes, and she'd love to give a smile, just to let him know, come and say hello, but she's always been too shy. As she fumbles with her keys secretly, she blows a kiss or two to the boy in the room from the girl on Bedsit Avenue. There's a boy who lived on the second floor. His world was a small bedroom, till he met her one day in the subway station, platform number 2. There's a girl who lived right across the street, who almost didn't smile. But it's funny when people need to belong, they can always change their style. And later that night he held her tight, and she felt the same way too. Now the girl loves the boy, loves the girl on Bedsit Avenue. Now the girl loves the boy, loves the girl on Bedsit Avenue.
Hello, all you Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Raggle Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Raggle Taggle. Listen to the Raggle Taggle on Global Irish.
Thank you very much, Finbar. Finbar's back this Friday at 7 with another exciting edition of the Raggle Taggle and old rare recordings, not to be missed, so keep that one in mind. And also on Friday nights at 11 o'clock, it's down under to Sydney, Australia, for the latest from the Irish community in that part of the world. More speculation involving the Donald. We barely got talking about the dead rumours, and now there's a mystery bulge apparently under the Donald's jacket. In his jacket, not his pants. Margaret. A mystery bulge in Donald Trump's jacket sparks fresh health worries. That's what the Irish Daily Mirror and a lot of the news outlets are reporting. A mysterious bulge, again, not in his pants, in his jacket, under Donald Trump's jacket has sparked renewed health speculation despite the US president dismissing concerns. And of course, he came out yesterday to dismiss those concerns and said he's never felt better. But there you go. And they did try to cover up the blotches, the black blotches on his hand. And then they had to come clean and say that it's a condition, affects older people and not life-threatening or anything like that. It stops the blood going from the heart to the veins or something of that nature. Anyway, they're not too worried. they can cover it up with more orange tan, that kind of stuff. But anyway, there you go. That's the latest speculation, and at least it's taking the emphasis off Epstein, isn't it? Nothing like a funeral to take the emphasis off Epstein. But anyway, there you go. That's the latest from America. No more America news. It's all about Ireland from here on in. And the Irish presidential election, because there's a new name that's come to light this, what day is it, Wednesday? Former meteorologist Joanne Donnelly has confirmed that she is seeking a nomination to contest the upcoming presidential election. She was speaking on RT's Drive Time yesterday, and she said that she'd written to all local authorities last night to express her interest. She said, just before midnight last night, I sent emails to the chairs of county councils, literally all of them, because I have no reason to believe that anybody would actually take this seriously, she said. And when she said, she was talking earlier and she was saying about the fact that friends had said it to her, and she kind of dismissed it jokingly. And then all of a sudden she said, well, hang on. She did just quit being a weather person. She walked out a few weeks ago, you recall. Remember, she came on the telly and she delivered the weather forecast, and she's like, well, right, that's it. That's my last weather forecast. Good night and goodbye. And the nation was just like, you know, our chins dropped to the ground. Like, did she just say that it's her last weather forecast? So matter-of-factly, and just disappeared into the night. And then, of course, everybody wanted to know why, and she got loads of coverage in the days after that announcement. She went out of the country on holidays, and then more recently she came back and she wrote a tell-all piece in one of the daily papers. But apparently she'd be getting grief from her employers, the Weather Service, for doing things outside of the Weather Service. You recall she was involved with, well, she wrote a book, and she said from the point that she wrote the book and was doing PR and stuff associated or linked to that, she noticed a change in the tone towards her at her workplace and stuff. And then she went on Dancing with the Stars, and she was very, she was all over the place with that. And I guess her employers didn't like her being, doing other things and stuff like that. Or at least that's the gist of, that's the impression we got, at least anyway. But she's come out now and she said that, and I wonder if it's one of these emails. It's never a good idea to send out a lot of emails at midnight. You wonder, sometimes things can seem like a great idea at midnight or in the early hours of the morning, but in the clear light of day, not so much so. But anyway, that's Joanne Donnelly, much loved weather person who quit her job there recently, and given that she's at a loose end, she's toying with the idea of being the next president of Ireland, and she was talking at length at what she could bring, her candidacy, what she would, she talks about her career, and if the weather's anything to go by, she's had a good record on the weather. We just had the hottest summer ever, and this looks like being one of the warmest. People are stupid. People will give her credit for that. But anyway, there she goes. She'll have a hard job getting onto the ballot, because we know that all of the parties are running candidates this year. There's going to be a bit of a contest in Fianna Fáil. That's the latest. Thanks to Micheál Martin's bungling of the nomination process, Billy Kelleher is not going to just back off. He wants a contest in the party. Billy Kelleher, the MEP from the south of Ireland. And in the absence of Micheál talking about the nomination process or who the candidate would be, Billy started putting calls out, getting feelers to see if there might be support for his candidacy. And all the while, Micheál Martin had at the back of his mind his intentions to have Jim Gavin, the former Dublin footballer, be the party's nominee. And then suddenly he's in crisis mode, trying to line up the support to guarantee the leadership, the leadership's candidate, getting him on the ballot, Jim Gavin. So, what should have been a moment of celebration and triumph for the party has turned into a bit of a nasty publicity, or it's not a good look anyway for the party, as they now kind of have a battle on their hands. And we're told that Jim Gavin has the necessary votes to get him on the ballot, but nonetheless there's going to be somewhat of an open contest, I think, and Billy Kelleher is still canvassing members of the parliamentary party, so we'll have to wait and see how that works out. But bad handling, poor leadership on the issue from Micheál Martin. As I say, what should have been a celebration and a triumph for the party, the fact that they had a candidate of the calibre of Jim Gavin, who is a good candidate. And, when you look at the numbers and the way they're stacked, all of the parties, if all four parties are running candidates and they're all bringing in about 20%, then they need to reach beyond party lines to get support to get into the Oris. And the way to do that is to have reach beyond the traditional party lines, like somebody with outreach in, say, the GAA, for example, which Jim Gavin does. And he'd bring in some. He'd have far-reaching tentacles, let's put it that way. And I think he would there's a good chance that he will be the next president. He's somebody that's, not linked to the party politically as such. He's not an elected representative from Fianna Fáil. He's a popular GAA figure, and he's also a military guy, and he's done a lot of work in the area of charity and stuff like that. And he brings a lot to the table, and he's got that extra outreach through his work with the GAA. So I think he's a formidable candidate, and I think he's the one to beat. But again, the handling of it by Fianna Fáil, I think, leaves a little bit to be desired. Fine Gael and their candidate, Heather Humphreys, she is officially the candidate now. But I don't think she's going anywhere. She's got the baggage of Simon Harris's unpopularity and the Fine Gael baggage to bring with her. She's a proddy. Not that would necessarily be... We've had proddies in the Áras before. Douglas Hyde, I think, and Erskine Childers, to name one or two, as far as I know. But anyway, so that wouldn't in itself be a problem. Then you got Catherine Connolly, who's the left-wing candidate. How far can she go? It all depends now on transfers and stuff like that. And also Sinn Féin have yet to announce whether they'll run a candidate. They're not going to make an announcement until later this month, about the 19th or 20th of the month. We did tell you that we have the date of the presidential election. It will be Friday, 24th of October. So that's the date, and all of the parties now need to get their ducks aligned in their campaigns. Fianna Fáil still have to decide, is it Billy Kelleher or is it Jim Gavin? It's essentially going to be Jim Gavin, but we say it's a little bit of bad PR in terms of the handling of that. And another name that was bandied about this week as well, Sir Bob Geldof. And he talked about he wouldn't mind being the president, but I think that's as far as that will go. Bob wouldn't... we'd have to wash out his mouth before we'd send him on international visits and diplomatic missions and stuff like that. He's an awful tug on him, hasn't he? I don't think we could wash out the F word from Bob Geldof's mouth, but he'd be popular in some quarters. His name, as I say, he was flattered at the idea and the notion. He's in his 70s, though. He's too old now. Bertie Ahern, the same. He's in his about 73, isn't he, at this point? And he still has his eye on the prize, but he was shafted by the party, maybe for good reason, some would say, given all of the toxicity surrounding him and his economic policies that brought the country to its knees, remortgaging our future, that kind of stuff, and the fact that people are having difficulties. Some of it is being linked back to the policies of the Bertie Ahern government and that era. So he comes with a lot of baggage there. So that's the latest. Joanne Donnelly has speculated. Maybe she had a few glasses of wine when she started emailing all of these county councillors and stuff like that to get the nomination. But she's at a loose end, and she's a quirky one. She's a sprightly young lass, and as I say, she quit the weather there a while ago. So she's at a loose end. So is there an appetite for a weather woman, Joanne Donnelly, to be the next president of Ireland? As I say, it'd be a tall order for her to get on the ballot, because that's all ring fenced, and it's very much as I keep coming back to it, very undemocratic, the process of getting on the ballot for the Irish presidency. You have to have the support of basically establishment parties, and that's where it becomes difficult. In the past, we've had disruptor candidates, independent candidates, but those were years where the parties, like for example 2011, Fianna Fáil didn't run a candidate, so it kind of opened up the field for the councillors and the TDs and the senators or whatever to support disruptor style or independent style candidates. This year with all the parties, unless Sinn Féin, of course. Maybe Sinn Féin will lend their support to her candidacy. We will have to see. But that's the latest. October 24th, the date of the election. And Michael D is packing up. He's folding his underwear. And he's, cleaning up the Áras and getting it ready for new occupants. The latest on the Irish presidential election. Studio at GIR.ie. We're live here on Global Irish Radio each day. And oh, by the way, let's take a little piece of music from this man who would have turned 90 had he been alive yesterday. Who are we talking about? We're talking about the great Liam Clancy. As I say, he would have turned 90 years if he was still alive. He was born back born back in 1935, I think it was, on the 2nd of September. So a track from the great balladeer Liam Clancy.
As I went down a shady lane at a door I chanced to knock. Have you any pots or kettles with rusty holes to block? Well, indeed I have. Don't you know I have? To me rightful lure, laddie, well, indeed I have. The missus came out to the door, she asked me to come in. You're welcome, jolly tinker, and I hope you brought your tin. Well, indeed I did, don't you know I did. To me rightful Laura laddie, well, indeed I did. She took me through the kitchen, she led me through the hall. The servants cried the devil, has he come to block us all? Well, indeed I have, don't you know I have. To me rightful Laura laddie, well, indeed I have. She took me up the stairs, me lads, to show me what to do. Then she fell on the feathery bed, and I fell on it too. Well, indeed I did, don't you know I did. To me rightful Laura laddie, well, indeed I did. She picked up the frying pan and she began to knock, for to let the servants know, me lads, that I was at me work. Oh, well, indeed I was, don't you know I was. To me rightful Laura laddie, well, indeed I was. She put her hand into her pocket and she pulled out a gold watch. Take this, me jolly tinker, for me Jesus, you're no botch. Oh, well, indeed I'm not, don't you know I'm not. To me rightful Laura laddie, well, indeed I'm not. She put her hand into her pocket and she pulled out £20. Take this, me jolly tinker, and we'll have another round. Well, indeed we will, don't you know we will. To me rightful Laura laddie, well, indeed we will. Well, I've been a jolly tinker now these 40 years or more. But such a job of journey work I never did before. Well, indeed I didn't, don't you know I didn't. To me rightful Laura laddie, well, indeed I didn't.
Radio is excited to partner with 950 WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston, to bring you portions of the Irish Hit Parade, providing the soundtrack to your weekend. Join Paul Sullivan on Saturdays 3 to 7 p.m. Irish time and famous Seamus Mulligan on Sunday 7 to 10 p.m. for a feast of Irish music. Streaming live from Boston right here on globalirishradio.com.
Yes, indeed, friends. Best thing about the weekends is the great Irish music from Boston, courtesy of our good friends out there at Irish 950, WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston. Friends, we're live here on Global Irish Radio. And coming up later on tonight, Tom is back live from Chicago with Tom's Irish Radio Show. So check that one out, 8 o'clock tonight, Irish time, 2 o'clock local time. Tom at GIR.ie for your requests and dedications. It's Wednesday, so as it sounds, Irish radio programme comes your way between 6 to 8 with the best in country and Irish music, trad as well, and that's nicely curated by David Marks. Again, that's from Glasgow, Scotland. Another chance to catch this programme later on tonight. Also, Sessions from the Cottage, the very best in traditional Irish music with Sharon Smith Iberly. Check that one out as well. So some of the great programmes coming your way over the course of a Wednesday. And as I was saying earlier on, at 4 o'clock, right after we go off the air now, Oliver will have his programme from Down Under. Oliver Lee, the Galway man in Auckland, New Zealand, and very much his finger on the pulse of what's happening in that part of the world. So there you go. Stay tuned for that. And closing things out tonight, Michael Commons from Midwest Radio. We link up with Michael Commons to close out the night here on Global Irish Radio later on tonight. Some of the great programmes coming away this Wednesday. Some of the top trending or the big stories, the big talking points this Wednesday lunchtime here in Ireland. The search for a missing child is continuing in North County Dublin. Members of An Garda Síochána are at the site of a search, an open Sorry, we'll start that again. Members of An Garda Síochána were at the site of the search on open land outside the village of Donabate as part of an investigation into a child who is known to TUSLA, the Child Protection Agency in this country, and who Garda believe is now dead. TUSLA has confirmed that it had dealings with the child and his family and that his engagement with them ceased in 2020. The Child and Family Agency also said that since 2020, no new referral or information of concern was received about the child until last Friday, when they referred the matter to Gardaí following a report from the Department of Social Protection. So that's the latest on the search for that young lad. And Gina Herty, the aid worker from Westport here in County Mayo, I forgot to tell you that she was released over the weekend. Irish aid worker Gina Herty, who was kidnapped by a criminal gang in Haiti, is said to be recovering following her release last Friday. Miss Herty, she's a native of Westport here in County Mayo. She's in her mid-50s and has lived in Haiti since 1993. And as I say, she was abducted with 6 others and a child from the orphanage there in Haiti, but she was released over the weekend. Apparently the kidnappers, relatives of Gina Herty, were told not to answer texts or outreach from her cell phone. The kidnappers had her phone and they were texting anybody just trying to get a ransom. And so relatives and stuff connected with Gina Herty were told just delete her number and block her number rather, and not respond to any of the messages that were coming in again from kidnappers out there in Haiti. But the good news is that Gina Herty is released and she's said to be recovering well following her release from captivity. What else do we have? We have another story here. We have a Gardaí here in Castlebar. An update on a story that we told you some time ago, a week or two ago. Gardaí have arrested a sports star over an attack that left a man fighting for his life. The Irish Daily Star has learned that the sports figure was one of 3 men arrested early on Tuesday morning over the attack in County Mayo late last month. Sources also tell us one of the 2 other men arrested over the attack in Castlebar in the early hours of Saturday, August 23rd, is closely connected to the sports star. The sports star, well, we don't have too many sports stars in the county, and you guessed it, it's a Mayo footballer. We were going to tell you the name, but Margaret said no. You mustn't tell the name. Innocent until proven guilty and that kind of stuff. None of the papers are releasing the name at this point. We do know who it is, but it's a Mayo footballer. And the individual that was the victim of that attack is in serious condition now in a hospital, Dublin Hospital. So that's the latest on that. 3 men, as a sports star, and individuals linked to that sports star have been arrested and are being detained at Garda stations here in County Mayo. Coming up on, time is passing swiftly by. There's a funny story in the papers today where a traveller supervisor reminds me of an incident that happened in a pub I managed once upon a time, when this shack of a truck pulled up to the front of the entrance of the bar, and this rather dishevelled looking old lady got out and stumbled into the bar and plonked herself in front of the draft beer taps, and I was making eye contact with the bartender, signalling to her not to serve this individual under any circumstances, and making the gestures and stuff like that. When the bartender comes over and says to me, "That's my mother." So you have to be careful. You don't know who's walking into your establishment. It seems that's what happened with this story involving travellers. A traveller supervisor employed at Home Saver store was allegedly asked to follow his family around the shop, and he's been awarded 13,000 in compensation. So essentially, the travellers walked into the store where this other individual was a supervisor in the store, and management told the individual to follow them closely around the store, keep their eyes on them. And turns out it was the supervisor's own family who happened to be travellers. And for their trouble, it cost the store 13,000 in discrimination. Now, I didn't get charged 13,000 discrimination or anything like that, but they weren't itinerant. Anyway, that's a funny story that reminded me of a situation that happened to myself many, many moons ago. globalirishradio.com or GIR.ie, studio.gir.ie, if you ever feel the need to get in touch with us. What do we got for you next? We have some music, song and story. It's all about Dirty Old Town this week.
Dirty Old Town is often mistaken for an Irish folk song full of gritty nostalgia and poetic imagery that seems to speak to the Irish experience. But in truth, it wasn't written about Ireland at all. The song was penned in 1949 by Ewan MacColl, an English-born singer, playwright and folk musician, about his hometown of Salford, a working-class city near Manchester in northern England. McCall-born James Henry Miller was the son of Scottish immigrants and grew up amid the smoke industry and poverty of Salford. He wrote Dirty Old Town for a scene in his play Landscape with Chimleys, aiming to capture both the romance and the harshness of life in a heavy industrialised landscape. The song's opening line, I Met My Love by the Gasworks Wall, sets the tone, a tender love story unfolding against a backdrop of factories, canal banks and smoky air. Despite its specific setting, the song's themes, longing, escape and working class struggle, resonated far beyond Salford. It wasn't long before Irish folk musicians began to adopt the song, starting with the Dubliners in the 1960s. Ireland, too, had its share of dirty old towns, marked by industrial decline and immigration. To Irish ears, the song felt familiar, the imagery easily mapped onto cities like Dublin, Belfast or Limerick. Over time, many listeners came to assume that the song was Irish in origin. The most famous and influential version came in the 1980s from Shane MacGowan and the Pogues. Though born in England, MacGowan came from a deeply Irish family and became a central voice for the Irish diaspora. The Pogues fused traditional Irish music with punk rock, and their raw emotional rendition of Dirty Old Town struck a chord. With MacGowan's weathered vocals and poetic intensity, the song felt less like a cover and more like a statement, a lament for all the forgotten cities and souls caught between past and present. The Pogues version helped cement the song's place in Irish cultural consciousness. Today it's sung in pubs and performed by traditional bands across Ireland and beyond. Its actual origins, a British socialist playwright writing about an English town, are often overlooked. Yet the journey is part of what makes the song remarkable. It's a testament to how music can transcend geography. Dirty Old Town was never about one specific place, but about a feeling, the ache of memory, the grime of daily life, and the dream of something better. The universality is what allowed it to be embraced by the Irish tradition, even if it didn't begin there. In the end, Dirty Old Town belongs to anyone who has ever felt the weight of a place and the desire to leave it behind.
I met my love by the gasworks wall. Dreamed a dream by the old canal. I kissed my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town, dirty old town. Clouds are drifting across the moon. Cats are prowling on their beat. Springs a girl from the streets at night. Dirty old town, dirty old town. The docks. Saw a train set the night on fire. I smelled the spring on the smoky wind. Dirty old town, dirty old town. I'm gonna make a picture box, shining steel, tempered in the fire. I'll chop you down like an old dead tree. Dirty old town, dirty old town. I met my love by the gasworks wall, dreamed a dream by the old canal. I kissed my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town, dirty old town, dirty old town, dirty old town.
There you go, it's Dirty Old Town, song and story for this Wednesday. On vocals there, the great late Shane MacGowan, and the story behind the song. Not about Dublin at all. A lot of people think it's about Dublin, but it's about Salford there. You've been listening to the Irish Daily Crack here on Global Irish Radio, dailycrack.com for all previous episodes, or to listen to this episode, or wherever you find your podcasts. The Irish pub might be somewhat in decline in certain parts of the world, and here in Ireland where they're facing rather challenging trading conditions and all the rest of it. But the largest Irish bar in the world has just opened its doors with an area half the size of a football pitch. 148 beers on tap, and a pint of Guinness there costing you nearly 15 quid. Yep. Where's it at, you're wondering? No, it's not in Castlebar, no. McCaffrey's in Dubai is, it's hardly your typical cosy Irish local. I don't think there's any snugs or anything like that. It's a super pub, and in fact on the opening day on Monday it went straight into the official Guinness Book of Records as the biggest Irish pub on the planet. So there you go. While in some parts the pub may be in Dubai, the Irish pub, it's alive and well in Dubai, and ambitious plans there. It's a big venture. Lots of beer on tap. Wouldn't like to be doing the inventory there on a Sunday night, I'll put it that way. But we wish them all the best. So there you go. Ireland, by the way, has been ranked among the best countries in the world for expats, I should say, seeking career satisfaction, but continues to rate poorly for housing, healthcare and public transport. The latest Expat Insider survey by Global Network Internations, which polled more than 10,000 expats from 172 nationalities about their experiences, basically, of living and working abroad, ranked Panama as the best country for expats. Wouldn't have thought that, but there you go. Spain was the only European country to make it into the top 10, while Australia was ranked at 19, France was 27, and the USA was in 36th place. The UK was near the bottom of the table at 41, and Ireland climbed 17 places to be number 28 on the overall list for 2025 in the report, and it's boosted by strong career prospects, we're told, and the ease of settling into Irish communities. So there you go, Ireland moving up a lot of spots on that survey into 28th place, up 17 spots, but the things that dragging it down are the country's performance in housing and the healthcare sector, the challenges in that part. So there you go. But in large part, good news for Ireland as a destination. Friends, that is our lot for today, and actually for a few days, actually going to be taking a week or so off, and thanks for your company. Thank you for your company since 3 this afternoon. You'll be listening to the Irish Daily Crack with Sean G, and as I said, taking a little bit of time off, a week or so off, back later this month, sometime later this month, won't put a date on it. But thanks for your company each day throughout the week from 3 o'clock as we bring you up to speed on all that's going on in this part of the world. So we see a little bit further down the line. Thanks to Margaret, as always, helping out in the background. Stay tuned for Oliver coming up at the top of the hour with all the latest from Auckland, New Zealand, and news from Ireland as well. All that nice kind of stuff. And what else have we got for you? Oh, Local Hero. That was the music of Local Hero there, bringing us almost across the finishing line this Wednesday. And our quote of the day today comes from a famous Chicago coach. "You are never a loser until you quit trying." Comes from the great Mike Ditka. Who is Mike Ditka? Well, if you're football fans in the United States or a lot of places, Mike Ditka is the last guy that coached the Chicago Bears to Super Bowl victory back in 1986. Mike Ditka, household name in Chicago. But I liked his quote. Margaret came across it somewhere today and didn't even know who he was or anything like that, obviously for good reason. But me having spent some time there, recognised the name immediately, and I quite like the quote. You are never a loser until you quit trying. So keep that in mind, friends. We'll leave you with those wise words from Coach Ditka. Da Coach, as they call him in Chicago. That's our laugh today, friends. We'll leave you the music of Sean Cuddy, and this one's called Pinto, the Wonder Horse. Have a great week.
I read it in the papers just about a week ago. It was on the back page and not many people know. Boy, it made me sad when I picked it up and read Pinto, the Wonder Horse is dead. Oh, we rode the dusty trails together at the Saturday morning picture shows. Now the dusty trails are gone now, but it hurts to hear it said Pinto, the Wonder Horse is dead. My memories go back to when I was a little kid. We believed in everything that Pinto ever did. Well, our kids have memories half as brave or half as strong. Pinto, the Wonder Horse is gone. Oh, we rode the dusty trails together at the Saturday morning picture shows. Now the dusty trails are gone now, but it hurts to hear it said Pinto, the Wonder Horse is dead. We believed that Pinto was the fastest horse alive. He could outrun the wind, and we never were surprised. In my childhood memories, though boy grow into men, Pinto the Wonder rides again.